Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and today we're doing a review of wedding planners. I have 9 wedding planners that I purchased here because I know that I need a planner to plan my wedding. I feel like I need a dedicated planner just for the wedding and not the regular planners that I use every day. And I didn't know what kind of planner was going to be best for me. So I bought 9. I bought these all myself. And we are going to take a look and kind of consider this like the ultimate wedding planner review video. Of course, there are more wedding planners out there than the ones that I have here, but I think that this is probably a very good start. I just remembered there's one more, so we actually have 10 wedding planners to review. So we're going to look at these one by one. I haven't opened any of them yet, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each. I'll also be linking all the planners in the description of the video if you are getting married or someone you know is getting married, but the stock status may change depending on when you see this video. So the first planner we have is a Happy Planner. This was the only one they had in stock. This is a big size, so it is 8.5 by 11. And the cover says, "You will forever be my always." I know that this originally came in classic size, I believe. Maybe not the same cover, but right now they only have the big size in. So we have the opening page that like Elise and James, and then the wedding date. And we have some tips, affirmations, self-care practices, which is really nice. And then we have a checklist divider. And in the checklist divider, we have the getting started. So things like announcing your engagement, choosing 2 to 3 preferred wedding dates, then 12 months before, 10 to 11 months before, 8 to 9 months, 6 to 7, like mail out, save the dates, schedule trial beauty appointments, 4 to 5 months, 3 months, 2 months, and 1 month. Also 1 month, 1 to 2 weeks, 1 day, and then after the wedding. Then we have the calendar, and you have 12 months to go, important dates, to-do list, and organize time together every month during your planning process. Use the space below to plan special date nights or note moments you share outside of wedding planning, which I think is really nice. Then you have a lot of space for notes and then 2 boxes or anything else. Then you have a full monthly calendar and then 11 months to go. So this, I'm guessing, is going to go from 3 months, 4 months. So this is every month. These are the pages that you get, which I think are really helpful. I really like that idea. And then we have contacts. So wedding planner, venue, officiant, bakery, venue, reception, venue, rehearsal, dinner, if they're all separate, caterer, florist, photographer, musicians, rental company, dress shop, videographer, musician. That was the ceremony. That's the reception. Rental company, bridal party shop, hairstylist, formal wear, transportation, accommodations, makeup artist, ring shop, accommodations, and then plenty of blank ones, 16 blank ones. Then we have vision and style. So this is where you can kind of describe your wedding style. This has the dreams and vision, venue details, ceremony, reception, traditions, toasts and speeches, and then color palette ideas. Then we have wedding colors, so you can cut these out and put them here for different palettes to visualize. We have decor for the ceremony, decor for the reception, decor and florals and other decor, attire for the bride, attire for the bridal party, attire for the groom and party, and beauty. Stationery basics, so information about sizing, which is really cool, and then the actual wedding stationery. Food and drinks, wedding hashtag. I don't know if people still do wedding hashtags. Music and ceremony, music for reception, and then transportation and accommodations. So a very thorough list here for vision and style. Then we have the wedding party contact list. So the role, like whether it's the matron of honor, best man, name, phone, email. And then we have the attire for the bridal party, attire for the groomsmen, beauty notes like trials for hair and makeup. Participation. So I really like this. What is the participation role of people? Are the bridal party going to attend attire shopping, walk down the aisle? What does all that look like? And then gifts for the wedding party. and gifts for family and other, like for James or for his parents. Then we have the budget, setting a budget. There's truly no scarier budget I've encountered than a wedding budget. But this helps. It kind of tells you what you should be spending your budget on. So like 45% of it will be reception venue and things like that. So that's really helpful. And then we have budget tracker. So tracking everything. I really like that it includes postage. I feel like that's one of those things that people don't always consider. Then we have an order tracker. So using this worksheet to keep track of all wedding related orders. Gratuity guide. Then we have guests. So who makes the cut? How do you know this person? Is it family, friends, or work? Have you talked to them in the last 12 months? Do you have a close relationship with them? Will this person make your wedding more memorable? Can you afford to have this person at your wedding? Do your parents insist this person receives an invite? So that's an interesting section. And then this is a guest list draft. This part I probably won't be using for any planner because we have a spreadsheet that we've put that on. There are certain things that I definitely want a paper planner for, and others that James and I are doing a shared Google sheet. And then we have a seating chart. This I probably would use because I like to visualize it. And then we have table arrangements. And then gift record. Gift record is also going to be something that we do on a Google sheet, I'm sure. Then we have vendors, the venue. So part of the reason that I'm doing this right now is because we do not yet have a venue and a date. We've seen 6 venues. We have some more to see. And then once we have that, I'll be able to kind of get actually into the planning of the wedding. I can't really plan a wedding yet until we know when we're getting married and where we're getting married. So this is attire. So I like that there's options here. So once I get into the actual planning, these options will be really helpful. And then we have stationery, musicians, photography, so all the different vendors that you need. Because I have 10 planners to go through, I've got to speed up a little bit. Then we have events. So engagement party, I could start to use this because our engagement party is September 27th. So I could start to use this. I didn't realize this was part of it. And then bridal shower, bachelor, bachelorette parties, and rehearsal dinner. Then we have wedding day. So a vow brainstorm, this is where to draft your vows, preparing a toast, order of events and day of itinerary, delegation of tasks, emergency kit, and name change guide. Then we have a honeymoon planning section, so a travel budget, travel plans, itinerary, packing ideas, packing list, outfit planners, and then notes. Then on the back here, you have a page of stickers for dating this because it's undated. And then you have different things to check like book caterer, dress shopping, book honeymoon, marriage license, etc. And then there's a pocket in the back. So the pocket is great because this is an 8.5 by 11 planner and the pocket can be used for any little things you need to add. So that is the Happy Planner wedding planner. The next one that I purchased, and this I think was the most expensive of all the planners. This is the Erin Condren planner. And part of why it's the most expensive, well, it's because it's Erin Condren, but also I customized it. So I customized it from photos from when we got engaged. But I don't think the customization adds anything. I think it's just a pricey planner. And then here you have kind of like a dry erase. And we have wedding planner. This is also undated. And then first divider is just monthly, and you have these sections. So anything you want, my to-dos, partner to-dos, planning goals, important dates, how we're having fun. And then you have the next month. So that is 12 months. So really simple because you can fill in anything you want. But then we're basically halfway through and we have our plans. So the immediate thing I don't love about this is it's just our plans. There's no other divider in here. So anything else in here, I'd either have to add my own dividers to or find the page that I want. So we have top wedding tips, wedding brainstorm, mood board, things about the ceremony, reception, wedding party, and schedule. And then this is a timeline like we saw with Happy Planner, with what you should do each month before. We have blending cultures and traditions, which I really like because James and I are two different religions. We will be incorporating elements from both into our wedding. Then we have getting support, regardless of the size. Planning a wedding is a lot of work. As you're planning, use this page to see what you can delegate and who in your life is available to help you. And then we have the wedding party, guest list. It also has dietary needs and other needs, like maybe, like ADA accessibility. Then we have seating arrangement. This seating arrangement works for tables of 10. And then we have budget tracker. So this budget tracker is just really a spending tracker. It doesn't give you any breakdown or anything. We have potential vendors. So you see what I'm saying? Like as I'm going through this, there's no separation between everything. We have a vendor contact list. Then we have my outfit, my beauty, wedding party outfits, wedding party beauty. Is there nothing about my partner's outfit? I don't see anything about my partner's outfit yet. Okay, now we have florals and greenery, and it tells you what's in season each season. Then setting the scene, so rental services, whether it's photo booths, wedding arches, balloon garlands, smaller details, gifts and favors, gifts for a wedding party, gifts for our families, our wedding guest favors. Then food, pre-wedding meal, post-wedding meal, wedding menu, and food options. Toasts, alcohol, raise a glass. So it's telling you like how many glasses are in each bottle. Sweets for the suite. Pick a wedding cake or two, a donut wall, etc. So fun sweets. Capturing the big day, photography, shots that we want. Music list, writing your vows. Then we have a stress-free spouse-to-be. Keep track of beauty appointments, photography call times, deliveries, and more with this hourly schedule. So here's your wedding day timeline and the partner's wedding day timeline. Gift log. Again, a gift log probably isn't something I'm going to do on paper. Then we have honeymoon information, honeymoon possibilities, and then dot and lined paper. And then in the back here, you have some stickers and things like beauty trial, bakery, send invites, some more stickers, and a pocket folder. I will say immediately out of the two, the Happy Planner is a better one because I don't like that I can't find what I need as quickly here. You could always add in tabs, but I feel like Happy Planners is a lot more thorough. Even one of the pages that I felt like as an example was the gifts for this one. Gifts for a wedding party. Like this is just 4 lines, whereas before it was just much more mapped out, like what you're going to buy, what the budget is if you already bought it. And I just like that better. So that is the Erin Condren wedding planner. This next one came in a subscription box. This is pretty compact. This wasn't actually a planner that I picked up separately, but it came in a box of other fun like bride-to-be type items. So this is the Miss to Mrs. box, which I really like. I've only gotten one so far, but I thought everything in it was really cute. And then we have a little envelope here, the calendar. So this is the thick one. So this calendar is just monthly and it's undated. Then we have contacts. And none of the contacts are labeled by anything. It's just the contacts. So like if it were florist, I would write that here in the notes. And then you have notes. So this is going to be a very basic planner. I'd barely categorize this as a wedding planner. I think this is kind of just like a little, not pocket planner really, but like something if you just need somewhere to add notes. And then we have inspiration. So these are blank too. So just a very basic one. I don't even think this is purchasable separately, but it was part of the Miss to Mrs. box. This one is, I think so far, the prettiest one I've seen. This is Charvoreia. I'll have everything linked in the order. This says things to do before we say I do. I like that it comes in a binder and it's a magnetic binder. And there's a little pen that comes with it too. I'm sure it's ballpoint, but this is so cute. And we'll put that back in. It didn't go. Okay. We have some pockets here. And then, so this is a ring binder, which is nice because you can add and remove things as needed. Things to do before I say I do. We have a little congratulations, love story, and then the planner content. So information about everything that's inside. So this one is your wedding vision, and this has a pocket. And use this section to bring your initial thoughts and ideas to life, from your venue options to your color scheme and wedding cake. So we have venue and top 3 venues, pictures, flowers, and pictures. So a lot of like mood board type stuff here, like printing Pinterest onto your planner. That's a mouthful. Wedding cake, wedding dress, bridesmaids dresses, hairstyles, makeup, miscellaneous, and notes. Did it have wedding dress in here? There's still nothing about partner's outfit. There's not a lot of partner inclusion in these. Then we have planner. So use this calendar to populate key dates and reminders to help you stay on track. Useful tips. There's a timeline. Great. Choosing your wedding party. 7, 8 slots for bridesmaids and groomsmen. You have the maid of honor, best man, flower girl, and ring bearer. Then we have a contact list. Nice big contact list. I wish this side was bigger, like ceremony venue, email, and contact number. I'd rather also write the person's name that I'm contacting. Magician. That's funny. Okay, we have the months. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 months, and then notes. Then you have the budget. And we have budget. It doesn't tell you, like Happy Planners does, what a good breakdown is, but you have the budget for everything, estimate, and the actual. This does have the groom included. And of course, not every wedding is a bride and groom. Celebration and miscellaneous. So pretty small budget section. Then we have the guest section. And invitations and pictures. Save the dates and pictures. And then we have the guest list. So this guest list is sideways: name, day guest, evening guest, save the date sent, invite sent, attending, and address. There's no spot in this one to include how many. So like if I, when I invite one of my cousins, it'll be my cousin, his wife, and their 3 kids. So that's 5 people. So there's not really space for that, but there may be a way, like in one of these boxes or something, to do that. So a lot in there for the guest list. And then we have a seating plan. So it gives you an idea of a popular seating plan, and then also top table and table numbers, and you can put who's in there. I don't think this is enough space to really write who's going to be at each table, but I think it's a good starter planner. What's important to remember as I'm reviewing these planners is that I am not a bride who's never planned before. I am a bride who plans for a living, basically. And so I have a little bit more of a specific like requirement level on the planners that I'm going to choose for my wedding. Then we have the big day. So this is going to be vows, readings, music choices, itinerary, nice big itinerary. Then the big day, 1 week before, 24 hours before, and then honeymoon planning. For some reason, I didn't expect that any of these planners would include honeymoon planning, but it makes sense. You have a bookmark here, and then some stickers as well. So this is, I think, a really good wedding planner for someone who just kind of needs something to start with and maybe isn't like a, you know, regular planner, but would like something to help keep things organized, I think that this is a good start. It's also really pretty and it's compact. It's going to be easy to bring with you. The Happy Planner one, because it's 8.5 by 11 size, isn't as compact and portable. One thing I just learned about the last planner that I looked at is you can also download any of the pages if you need extras, which I think is really helpful. You can download them online for free. Next up, we have a Bloom planner. This is I totally forgot the name of it, chipboard cover that has gold corner reinforcements and says Our Wedding with a nice folder here. I've never seen a folder on the cover like this. How much could I actually get in here? Barely anything, to be honest. So we have the planner belongs to the basics. So here's a page by page table of contents. Forgot that word, but that's really nice. Our love story, our engagement story, dreaming of the big day, and then our vision. Create your own mini vision boards for each category. So we have a ceremony, describe it in 3 words, reception, our attire, wedding party attire, flowers, hair and makeup, photography, and then your own categories, so 3 of your own. Then we have the basics, wedding planning advice, I like that. We have wedding party. So who's in the wedding party, what's their contact info, and what's their notes. So the notes part is really helpful. One of the examples that I have in the notes is on each side of our wedding party, we have someone with a very important allergy. So as we've been looking at venues, we've been talking about the allergy because we have 2 people in our wedding party, 2 of the most important people coming to the wedding who have allergies. And then we have timeline and checklist. So again, 12 months, 8 months, 7 months, 3 months, etc. Then we have honeymoon planning and honeymoon information, budget tracker, budget, actual cost, deposit and due date, balance due date, paid in full, and notes. And then there's tips. Should I tip anyone? Or who should I tip? I mean, I think all these people need tips, but it gives you an idea. Then we have guest planning, a guest list worksheet. Our venue holds this many. Guest count estimate is this many. Total guests invited. Total guests coming. I wonder if it says anything here about, I feel like about 15 to 20% don't come. But we also have very limited people who live far away, like who live a plane ride away. Most of our guests are local. So we have a guest name, address, number invited, number coming. I think that's key. Notes, dietary restrictions table, gifts, and mailed. I guess you'd mail all the wedding invites at once, but this is mailing thank you notes. Then guest list page 2, and we continue with this. Still in guest list page 5 and page 6. Now we have engagement or shower gift tracker. So we probably use these. Make a photocopy of this page if you need more. That's nice. Then we have seating. So we'd probably use this for engagement gifts or shower gifts. Seating arrangements. This is a little bit bigger than the last planner for seating arrangements. And then a seating diagram draft. Then we have vendor planning. Vendor pros and cons. Use these pages to compare various vendors while researching. Reference good questions to ask potential ceremony venue locations. So a lot of information here. We're also doing this via spreadsheet because James is amazing and has created a spreadsheet that includes all this info, but it also includes what's the price per head, what's the tax, what is the service fee, what is the fee to have the ceremony on site, did they charge for valet, do they charge to get into the bridal suite more than 3 hours before, all these extra little fees that we're learning as we're seeing these venues that they add on and on and on. So here's the vendor info. Vendor contact forms, ceremony, reception, photographer, videographer, stationery, florist, wedding planner, DJ band, caterer, beverage services, dress, suit, tuxedo, hair and makeup, cake, dessert, rentals, transportation, hotel, lodging. What I like about these planners and the way that they've mapped out vendors is I feel like they can apply to a lot of different types of weddings. The wedding that we will have is going to be one that has most things on site. Like, for example, we are going to probably end up getting married at a hotel or a country club that has beverage services and catering included. Not a DJ and a band. And not some of these, but a lot of, like, we're not going to have to find vendors for every single thing that we need. So I think that that's helpful. And then you have some blank spaces. Ceremony venue questions. What dates do you have available? What's your cancellation policy? How many restrooms are there? Things like that, which I think are really helpful. Cleanup fee, all of that kind of stuff. Also questions to ask for a photographer and videographer. These are great because I didn't even know what questions to ask. And then we have photography must-have shots. This is bigger than the last one that had some of these, so I like this. And then notes and videography must-have shots. Ceremony music, reception music. And this kind of breaks it down by like dinner, dancing, etc. And then meal planning menu and notes. Then we have monthly planning, 18 months of undated monthly views. So we have wedding event overviews, so engagement party, bridal shower, bachelorette, rehearsal dinner, etc. And we have a monthly view with notes, ideas, and monthly gratitude, notes, and to-dos. And you'll have 18 of those. Then, let's keep going. Still the same. We have the big day. Everything you need to stay stress-free the day of your wedding. You know, it's funny. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and she was asking what like one of my must-haves is for my wedding. And I said, my must-have is that no one asks me questions the day of my wedding day. I will make sure that everyone who needs to know things knows them, and that there is someone who has the final list of everything else. And I just don't want to be making decisions that day. And so that's my must-have. So we have the day of timeline and checklist, post-wedding, ceremony participants, ceremony order, ceremony vows, and Bloom has vow books, which is good to know. We want to write our own vows. A sample day of itinerary. And then the final draft for day of itinerary and a name change checklist. Then we have wedding memories, which is nice. So our engagement, wedding shower, bachelorette party, planning process, rehearsal dinner, morning of, ceremony, reception, honeymoon, and then a bigger folder here that gives you more room than the cover folder. And then reflecting on the big day. So I think that this is a really good planner. I don't really have many complaints about it. I think that this is a really solid planner and I'm impressed by it. This next planner is from a company called Your Perfect Day, and it kind of looks similar to the Bloom one where you have the pocket here. So we have the wedding of, contents, your wedding vision, fundamentals and timeline, guest planning. Then the first one is your wedding vision with a pocket folder here. Discuss your wedding day with your partner. We have partner ideas, ceremony vision board, reception vision board, gown and accessories, groom's outfit. Again, not always a groom, but I like that there's a partner outfit in here. Bridal party, transportation and accommodation, cake and catering, makeup and beauty, and honeymoon. Fundamentals and timeline. Choose your bridal party. Set your budget. Some tips in here. Who traditionally pays for what? This is interesting because we haven't seen this in another one. And I think that a lot of tradition of who's paying for what is kind of changed. Not just kind of changed, has definitely changed over the years, but it's an interesting section. Then we have budget planner. This is very detailed, which I like. Then we have a wedding countdown. So things to do from 12 months to go down to the day before. We have a countdown calendar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-month calendar. We have notes, lots of notes pages. Then guest planning, wedding guest etiquette, so who you're inviting. You're inviting second cousins, you're inviting third cousins. I don't even know any of my third cousins. Okay, then we have the guest list. So day guest, evening guest, save the date sent, invite sent, attending, and gift. I would prefer that this had a space for thank you gift, thank you note tracking, but there's also more templates that you can download from this. Then we have seating plans. So again, it gives you a traditional seating plan and a popular alternative plan. And the table numbers. This is the best table arrangement that I've seen because it has the table name or number and then up to 12 seats. And I just think this is the best one that we've seen so far. Then we have table layouts, gift list. So the item, where from, quantity, and price. This has Macy's here, but it doesn't tell you. There's no spot to let you know who bought it, which I think is interesting. Then we have notes, venues and vendors, choosing your wedding venue. And then we have the venue shortlist, venue name, guest accommodations, and then videographer, photographer, questions for them, which I like, the dress, bridesmaids dresses, groom's outfit, caterer, florist and floral, wedding cake, wedding hair, wedding makeup, beauty treatments, manicure, pedicure, waxing, massage, and other, officiant, transport, entertainment, favors, wedding bands, choosing your rings, stationery, wedding website, additional vendor info, researching honeymoon destinations, honeymoon notes, our wedding day. This section includes all the useful info for your wedding day. So we have a to-do, readings. I like that it shows both biblical and non-biblical readings. Music choices, photography list, ceremony, bridal party. This is the photography list still. A sample itinerary, then your itinerary, wedding day survival kit, honeymoon packing checklist, writing your vows, last minute to-dos, and ready, set, wed, and top tips for your wedding day. I think this is a pretty good wedding planner. I don't really have many complaints about it. I think that it's a great planner for yourself or a gift for someone else. So this one I didn't realize is actually from the same company, Your Perfect Day. And I think it's pretty much the same, but a different design. So if this is a design that you like better, I think that, you know, it's just something to be mindful of. So we'll just kind of do this one quickly, but it is the same planner. So whoops, that was my mistake ordering two of the same one, but it's pretty. I really like the green. I feel like it's a little bit more like relaxed and neutral. Now we have the Clever Fox Wedding Planner. This is hardcover. Also has that chipboard, but kind of like a faux leather feel here. And this is 8.5 by 11. And we have the wedding of, a contact list, including like hairstylist, manicurist, groom's outfit. Then we have wedding vision. And in here, you're going to put your wedding vision. I like the paper feel on these. And we have a pocket here. Ideal time for the wedding. Wedding ideas, partners' wedding ideas. Inspiration and vision board. And then countdown and calendar. So wedding overview, wedding countdown. Then so everything from 12 months to wedding day. Then the year overview. So for each month, you can put in things that need to be done. And then we have the month and the year and this month's goals. So 8 goals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think this one's 13 months. Then we have a wedding budget. And this gives you a really big breakdown, the estimate, actual, difference, deposit, and notes. And then guest planning. So this is pretty, name, I was going to say this is pretty thorough. Name, phone, invitation sent, attending, thank you note sent, table number, color. Don't know what that means. And notes. I don't know what color it is. I can't figure out what that may be for. I was thinking like if a table number had a color instead of a number, but I don't think that that makes sense because how many colors could there be? But this is a nice big guest list. I'm just so curious what that's for. You know what? Usually in Clever Fox planners, there's an information card. I don't see one here though. I thought that maybe it would give me some info about what that means. Okay, now we have table numbers. This is still pretty good, even though there's it's not numbered here. Then we have wedding venue, choosing your wedding venue. So questions to ask the venue, and then venue, name, contact, phone, length of hire, availability, capacity, deposit, address, website, email, dance floor, all that kind of stuff. Children's room, tent, tables, open bar, decoration, guest accommodation options, wedding transportation, and then wedding vendors. These all have pockets, by the way. So we have stationery, invitations, caterer, wedding menu, bar menu, cake, wedding cake vision board, florist, photographer, videographer, entertainment, officiant, additional vendors, and then beauty. A lot of beauty in here. So we have wedding dress and questions to ask, a wedding dress vision board, groom's outfit vision board, bridesmaids dresses, groomsmen attire, hairstylist, makeup artist, manicure, pedicure, waxing, and then the big day. So we have a timeline here. Nice big space for a timeline. Music choices, also really nice big space. My vows, my partner's vows. Probably wouldn't put these in here because like I don't want to hear his vows. I don't want to see his vows beforehand. He doesn't want to see mine. And then we have checklists and tips. Wedding favors, wedding day preparation, wedding day emergency checklist. One thing that this planner does not have is a gift tracker, which is interesting. And then we have honeymoon tips and checklist, and then a pocket folder in the back. And this has a rubber band closure. So that is the Clever Fox wedding planner. We only have two left. This is Scribble and Wedding Planner Binder. Let's open this. Oh, this is pretty. Gonna rip it. Okay. This is like a really pretty suede, which is nice. This makes a really good gift. And it says happily ever after starts here. This is pretty. Okay. This one I'm already very impressed with. We've got a pocket here. Again, these cover pockets fit very little. But this is Scribble and Dot. And this is a nice sturdy page. Contents. Really love a table of contents. Little information about the bride and groom. Fundamentals. Before you begin. Countdown. Then wedding party. Budget breakdown. So this also tells you how much you should be spending on each. And then we have the budget section, estimating cost, final cost, deposit paid, and balance due. We have ceremony and reception, important things to consider. So these are questions to ask a venue. About your venue, reception venue, ceremony order, vows or readings, menu notes, seating plan, the top table, and then the guest seating plan. This is the best one. Look at this. This is great. I really love that it kind of shows you and you can decide who's sitting where. I will say all the weddings I've been to, I've never been assigned a seat at a table. I've been assigned a table, but never a specific seat there. So that's an interesting one. Oh, there's some ribbons here too. So those are the seats. Then we have guest planning. So guest list, day guest, evening guest, date sent, or save the date sent, invite sent, and attending. Dietary requirements, gift received, thank you sent. Great, doesn't include how many guests. Maybe the idea here is that every guest is going to be listed individually. So like when I was talking about my cousin before, it would be my cousin, his wife, his daughter, his other daughter, and his son, all as separate. But you need a lot of these then. I don't know that if there's enough or not. Guest notes, gift list, still doesn't share who gave it to you. And then notes, guest accommodations. Accommodations are important for us, but not a huge thing because like I said, most of our guests are not out of town. We will, I'm sure, have guests who choose to stay over at the hotel that we like choose as the accommodation because they just may want a late night and not, to drive or Uber home. But it's not like a huge thing that we're worried about. Vendors. So band, DJ, cake, catering, dress, favors, florist, hairdresser, makeup, photographer, videographer, transport, suit, stationery, and then some blank ones, some stationery information, flowers, notes, guest transport, wedding cake, videographer. How long are they there with you for? Will it be a set price? Those are good ones. Music, playlist, walking down the aisle, entrance to wedding meal, first dance, and must-haves for DJ or band. Then we have rings and favors, wedding attire for bride, bridesmaids, groom, groomsmen, hair, additional treatments, makeup. Okay, now our wedding day. Wedding day tips, wedding day timeline, itinerary, last minute to-dos and notes, and then honeymoon destination, honeymoon planner, and notes. And then finally, this is just to keep it together, just a band and a pen loop. I really like this one. I think that this is one of my top choices so far. I think that it's really pretty. It's not overdone, but I feel like there's just enough space in here, especially for someone like me who is a pretty good planner anyway and doesn't need as much guidance. I really like this one. This may actually be my top choice. Now, the final one I was intrigued by. I don't know if it's fully a wedding planner or not. I guess it says a pocket-sized planner. It says the little book of wedding checklists, all the lists and tips you need to plan the big day. So this is like book bound, and I don't really know what to expect from it. Little book of wedding checklists. Oh, this is funny. This is my publisher. So that makes sense that it's like book bound because it's the same publisher as my book. We have an introduction, table of contents, identifying options. So checking off all the things. Again, this is a book of checklists. I don't think this is fully a wedding planner. Then we have the timeline, day of timeline, so you can mark out the times for everything. The budget. This gives you the breakdown of budget too, which I like. Bonus round gratuities. Then we have the guest list. Invitations. And it shows you how you can break down the invitations, which I really like. Formal invitation, save the date, RSVP card. Then we have ceremony venue questions. Reception questions. This is really portable and good to bring along with you. Comparing venues. A little harder to keep this open, which you may be able to tell. Vendors, questions for your officiant. How to prepare for a friend officiant, which is nice. Food and drink. Different things like different ranges for a full bar versus a beer and wine or cash bar. Food and drink comparison. Vendor comparison. So a lot about vendors in here, which is good because you need a lot of vendors for a wedding. We have musicians, DJ, photo and video. Oops, I skipped one. Flowers and decor. Then we have you and your partner, attire and accessories. So partner number 1, partner number 2, and then wedding dress cheat sheet gives you a little bit of an idea of different wedding gowns. A fitting schedule, wedding party and guest code, so dress code. Day of bag with an emergency kit of everything you may need, information for guests, hotels and transportation, rehearsal dinner, and more. So our rehearsal dinner will be like our wedding party and our parents and officiant. And then call anyone but the VIPs. Like, this is funny. I was just saying a contact list for anyone but the bride and groom. Avoid making yourself the main point of contact. And then a honeymoon timeline. So I think that this is, and a little appendix, important names and numbers. So this is like a good just wedding checklist, little book of wedding checklists. I think exactly what it is. So those are the planners. I think I want to share, I think this one may be my favorite, with Happy Planners next as the second favorite. I may use a combination of the two of these. And then all of the other planners I think are pretty good. It just depends on who this is for, what kind of person it's for, what kind of planning that they need. But I think that was a pretty thorough look at 10 different wedding planners. A lot of them have similar things. The things that made these two stand out more are how much information there was in Happy Planners that I really liked, and how much space, of course, because it's disc bound. I love the ability to take things out. And then I just feel like this one is really good for the type of person I am and the way that I plan. I really like this. So those are my choices. I'll link all the planners that I shared today in the description of the video. Let me know which one you like the best and why. And let me know if you know what that color checklist was in this planner, because I'm really, maybe not this planner, Clever Fox Planner, I think, because I'm really curious. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon.